Hello.
Hello. So we just started with i3 and starting to configure it. You're on the documentation page, which does it tell you where the config is? It says etc i3 config, but you probably want to check .config in your home directory.
Uh-huh.
Cool.
So how would I put the Sublime text on top of terminal?
Yep. So see how it's got these different modes? It's got tab layout, default layout, resize mode. So if you just hit mod W, I suspect that should change it to this tab mode where now you can see them all as tabs, right? That's individual tabs. If you want to go back and forth between them, which you figured out, are you using like mod left arrow, mod right arrow, I'm guessing? So if you go back to the documentation, you can also use your mouse, by the way. You can click those tabs if you want. But yeah. So you want to, what do you want to do? You want to go and make it floating or something?
Sure.
So yeah, just maybe search for floating.
What's floating modifier?
Float
toggle.
Yeah, you probably want that toggle. So just try that, and then.
Yeah, that's now floating. I guess I can use my mouse to move it around.
Yeah. Whoa, that really screwed up the visual from what I see. It's like duplicating your thing all over the place. Oh, you do see that?
Yeah, that's how it is.
That's bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would blame X for that. I mean, it has to redraw and render again, and maybe i3 could do a better job.
Yeah, it doesn't have that problem in the other things.
I guess for most people, they wouldn't be doing that in i3, so the render loop would be a lot more scattered or spaced out compared to, what am I saying? Like it's rendering every frame, but I mean like maybe it's highly optimized for certain configurations of the screen, maybe. Like when you were just.
The grid is not optimized because it doesn't expect it to be run so often.
Right. I'm saying maybe it's like looking at particular sections of the screen as a way for it rendering, whereas like when you tile it, it's going into some weird mode.
I don't know. Here. So I'm pressing modify left, and then I go to terminal, press it again, I go to, so I think I've got one tab which has two sides to it.
Yeah, that's right. So in the right tab, you've got another tab underneath it, and if you press, I think,
how do I switch which thing I'm looking at within this tab?
Try modify up and down.
Okay, left and right.
So you've got two stacked tabs, and you've got two tabs next to each other as well.
Yeah.
And you can have like, many tabs that are stacked, which effectively gives you up and down to navigate. Or you could have just one, like what we saw when you originally switched to tab mode. So like if you open a new thing, let's say you did mod enter, where does it go?
I assume it would go on the right.
Yeah. But if you quit that and then change the mode to say like stacking, maybe look for the stacking mode.
Hmm.
Should be able to control F, look for it in the, oh, stacked layout. It was actually called stacked layout in your thing. Yeah, mod E. Or mod S it says actually.
Mod O.
Oh no, mod S for stacking and mod W for tab. So if you switch to stacking by
Wait, but
pressing,
this says mod O.
oh, interesting.
Um,
It says mod comma.
maybe it's noticed I'm in Dvorak or something.
Maybe.
So mod O. Yeah, okay. I'm not sure what happened. Something happened.
So if you do a new one, it should go underneath it if it's in stacking mode. Yeah, there you go. So the tabbed mode gives you like left and right. Stacking mode allows you to go up and down. But in stacking mode, maybe if you go back to the left tab, you have all those stacked tabs, right? Maybe you want to move one.
The right tab. Yeah.
Yeah, you want to move one from here to the right tab. And so
I worked that out.
in your config, there was like all this move commands that were there.
With the shift.
Yep, right. So you are able to change that to whatever and move it back and forth or up and down freely. And this is all in only in one workspace as well. So you could even move it to the next workspace and have that like a stack tab of Chrome, Google Chromes, or like a stack tag of Sublimes, for example.
So I think I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 stack tabs, but the last one is another stack, which is interesting.
What's that?
See, the last one is a stack of 2.
Right. So you somehow created like a sub-stack in that
Yeah.
the fourth tab.
Yeah, that's.
I haven't seen that actually. That's interesting.
Oh, and yeah.
Like, did you move it from the left into that tab or something?
I don't know. I don't know.
Well, how about we focus on like how you reckon you could use this? Because yeah, there's exploring this, and then there's the more like directed approach, I guess.
I think having 2 columns is generally what I'm after.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think this combination of stacks and what do you call not stacked?
Tabs, I guess, or columns. Yeah, just call them columns. Columns is good.
Yeah, combinations of tabs and so tabs is horizontal, stack is vertical. There's not much difference between the two. It's just whether you use left and right or up and down.
Yeah, true.
You always do one thing.
Yeah, and it's a case of like maybe you group on the left like a notes thing, and then on the right you have like all your I don't know, your code or Chrome. So like the stacking is pretty useful if you just want to go up and down between like multiple repos if you're coding like that in different like folders. But it seems like you just have everything in the one Sublime Text. So do you use projects in Sublime Text?
Yeah.
Right. So
only one.
Yeah. So
you got one project.
Really depends, right? Like with me, I have like multiple VS Codes open, and so I can just go up and down that list when I want to switch to a different repo.
What's that drawing site? Uh,
JS
oh yeah. So
Yeah,
I think
also like, do you prefer the status bar to be at the bottom or at the top?
top is
Um,
fine. Oh, you mean this bottom, the one that's at the bottom?
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, I
yeah,
prefer
yeah.
a bottom.
Okay.
So
Yep.
showing workspaces. I assume this is configurable as well.
Yep. That's
I
all
do
part
like
of
that it's got basic stats. I do like to keep an eye on stats.
Yeah, and you can probably configure that to have more stuff. You can even change that bar completely to something even more fancy.
Yeah, yeah.
I didn't do that though.
Hmm.
But yeah, draw out your layout, what you reckon
So I
works
think
for
I would
you.
want Sublime Text to be a whole window,
Yep.
um, the terminal to be half, and the browser to be the other half. And
Okay.
that's like it. That's pretty much it. I want my text editor
Okay.
to be the whole screen,
Yep.
and then terminal is half,
Yep.
Chrome is half.
Yep.
Um,
And
and I
how
guess
would
that
you
can be
switch
done by.
between them? Are they different workspaces for the tabbed terminal,
So
Chrome?
this is one thing that I think i3 will probably struggle with is I would like
Yeah.
to be able to see. So I'll use brown for the
Okay.
text editor, and I'll use black for the terminal.
Hmm.
I would like to have this view where the terminal is in front, obscuring half of the text editor, so I can still see text here,
Okay.
but I can also see terminal text up here. Like I can
Hmm.
focus the terminal and it's in front, but it's not obscuring the entire, so I can still see text.
Right.
And then when
So
I go
you
back
want
to
a
the,
way of toggling the terminal to be half the text
yeah,
editor, and then you would toggle it so that it becomes full screen again?
and like, yeah, how configurable is this i3? Can you sequence commands? Because I could imagine a sequence of
Yes, you can. You
things
can
such that
actually.
you press a button, it'll like divide it into two,
Yeah.
put it there
So
or something.
I see a solution as being this. You have, um,
Or maybe the
you,
terminal should just be floating. That would work. If the terminal's just floating, then it's going to be
okay.
on whatever. Yeah,
So,
yeah. I'll just have terminal floating, Chrome floating, and that works well. I'm not using tiling at all.
well, there is an option of like hitting a full screen thing. So you could have Sublime Text when you toggle it, it goes to full screen, or when you de-toggle it, it like goes into this tab view. And
Mm.
then on the left, you could have Sublime Text and Chrome like switchable so that, you know, you get that view where the terminal and Chrome are side by side, and you can resize and make it floating, whatever.
I most commonly want the text editor and the terminal visible at the same time.
Yeah. Yeah. So I would do that tab thing and then bind like something for full screening. Um, and then you could like full screen the Sublime when you want it to just be the full thing.
Can you associate keyboard shortcuts with particular windows,
Like,
like the text editor,
um, oh, right.
or is it only on for whatever you're in focus?
I've never had to do that, but
Mm.
maybe just Google, just search that documentation because I wouldn't doubt they have that sort of customization.
And I'm noticing like my keyboard's configuration is being unset. So like the delay on repeat, the speed of repeat is big things I wanna configure.
Was that already part of Linux that you when you installed Debian? you had that issue, or
It
is
seems to
that something you're
be
saying
specific
i3?
to the window manager. Like each window manager
Okay,
has its own settings for this input stuff. So
input delay. Yeah,
i3 will need to provide its own settings here.
that's true. Like I've seen that setting in XFCE,
Mm,
that is in like a GUI, but with i3, what would that be?
mm,
Yeah, just search there like key repeat. I wonder if that comes up.
no, no.
So maybe it's like to do with X. Maybe you would have to search like X11 key repeat,
Then I
since
have to
under
use Xinit.
like maybe you have to configure it in X, yeah. Like
Yeah,
since
which is
that's what
probably
we'd
what
be
the other
using.
things do.
Yeah, and that wouldn't be too hard.
Mm,
The i3 configuration actually has like it loads everything at the beginning, so you could just put it there. Yeah, so there are some like outside of i3 things that you might need to configure
mm-hmm,
on startup, but let's try and get your setting that you wanted.
mm-hmm.
Let's try and configure that. So yeah, so by default, when you start like a new tab, let's say you happen to start Chrome or whatever, um, do you want that to start stacking, or do you want that to go on the right, like as another column?
Well, I guess normally it just remembers what it was last time I opened it, and so it
No, but when you
goes with
start
that
up
event.
i3, it always defaults to a particular
So I,
layout.
I
So I'm
don't get that
saying,
memory for each application that can't remember what it was. i3 is always going to set it to something context, something based on the current context.
no, no, no. I'm saying when you start up the computer, when you start
Yeah.
up i3, it will always start up in a particular layout. And you
Oh,
can
you
set
can
that.
tell it to start certain applications?
No, no, no. Start i3 at a particular layout. So
Like a
you,
layout of applications or what?
no, no, the i3 layout. So that the new application that you start off
Right.
will be stacking, or it will be, say, tabbed or something.
Yeah. So normally in like floating layout managers, programs will remember how they were opened before, and next time you open them, they'll open in the same way. But I'm guessing that's not going to be the case for a layout manager,
Right.
a tiling manager.
Yeah, it will just kind of like default to a certain layout, and then you would have to do the combinations to get it into that state. But
Hmm.
I'm sure there's a way to save particular layouts, because that would be a pretty common use case. Like I
Yeah,
want,
you have a certain
um,
set of applications in a certain way, and like you could manually open it in just the right way every time, but like, what if you didn't have to do that?
yeah. Oh, actually, I found a section about this. It's called saving layouts in i3. If you just search that, oops. Yeah, it's in the user guide
Oh yeah.
over there.
What's it called?
That's the first link.
Uh,
Layout saving.
the GitHub
Above
link?
that. No,
Okay.
above that.
Somehow I
Yeah.
didn't notice that as a search result.
Yeah, it seems like once you've got it into like the right space, you can save it as a JSON file, and then you can restore it.
Okay. So
And
let's
you can,
try that. .i3, and then like that. Um,
where do you put your config files? You can just save it to .config, I guess.
I'm gonna save it to temp.
And then restoring it, it says,
So how does it know about anything? So it's got modes, nodes, name, terminal.
This is actually pretty cool.
What format is this? Like,
Jason?
it's got comments.
Uh,
So it's a different
Yeah.
kind of JSON.
I guess, yeah, whatever parser it uses, can support
Comment,
that.
I guess. Interesting.
Yeah, so apparently if you just write append layout underscore layout and that path, it will reload it. So if you quit everything and then go to like a blank thing,
Sorry, run what? Append
uh,
layout.
yeah,
Okay. Wait. Used to load its exit file to JSON. Okay. So append this JSON layout to the current layout, I guess.
yeah. So if you started off with nothing or just a terminal in your case,
So how do I log out?
or just quit everything by like
Wait, but
I can't
how
remember.
would I log out?
How do you log out?
Yeah.
I think it's Mod Shift E. Try that. Yeah, and then it
Okay.
says, but we'll make it a bit more fancy and nicer a bit later. Just say yes, I guess.
Do I have to click it? How do I like keyboard?
Yeah.
I
We'll
can't
keep up.
keyboard there. What?
At the moment, no. We'll have
What?
to create a configuration for that.
What? There's a thing that requires a mouse?
Yeah,
What
it's a bit
operating
weird.
system am I running?
It's not as all keyboard as as when you started off, I guess.
That's
You have to
crazy.
make it that.
All right.
So you gotta run that terminal
And
underscore layout.
I don't have any autocomplete.
We can fix that.
No.
Oh, you don't have that command? Interesting. What if you type i3 space message? Sorry, hyphen message. MSG, sorry. i3 space hyphen MSG. And then write in. I think you need it to be in a string.
Oh.
Try putting the thing in a
The whole
string. I
thing
just
in
want
a
to see if
string.
it after iMessage, just see if there's any difference there.
It's got a space. Oh no, it worked without the string. In that it didn't work.
Is it because of the comments? I wonder if you actually had to remove the comments. Wait, that's a bit weird though, if that's what it spit out though.
So what line is it dying on? 3CF.
3CF.
Huh?
Yeah. Does this require like some extra thing you have to install?
Maybe.
Yeah, where's 3CF?
What the hell is 3CF? Seems like Gucci.
Well, that's actually saying.
Oh, no. Yeah, there's 3CF. There's 3CF. It's at the end.
Huh, what is that?
So 3CF and then.
It is a comment. Interesting.
So.
Can you get rid of these?
Yeah.
Yeah, what happens when you run it now?
No, it doesn't like the brace. It seems.
The brace.
Client cancelled pause. Callback return value.
Oh, maybe don't use tilde.
Tilde?
Like your home directory, like give the full path.
Um,
You're doing tilde there, and maybe it can't substitute it.
well, no, it's opening the file. Like we're seeing the file contents.
True. But just to eliminate anything else, just put it in. I just wanna.
Yeah.
Okay.
Have you ever used? No, you wouldn't have used this because we just looked at.
No.
Yeah.
Well,
Honestly,
wait. In the
thinking of,
example, hold on. In the example, it says to write workspace one colon. So maybe do that before you do a pen layout because you're not actually doing the exact example. So if you go up and then do workspace one space one semicolon. No, before that. Before the pen layout. Yeah. I just want to see if that has. Yep. Space one, semicolon. Semicolon.
semicolon.
Yeah, try that. Okay.
I guess I mean go to workspace one and then do that.
Yes. Interesting. Can't pause, save, layout, i3. Do. Yeah, there are people that get the same error.
Oh, I needed to install Rotti or something to get that thing. What was it called?
Yeah, Rofi, which is ROFI.
And that. Oh,
Yeah.
Sudo install. Okay. And then, how do I use it?
So if you type Rofi, let's see if something comes up. Okay, so I can just give you, yeah, just do like Rofi -show and then drun. Yeah, cool. So this is like the basic version which you can customize, but when you type stuff,
Cool.
yeah. So if you bind that to where it said D menu, and you can just hit that keyboard shortcut to get to it. It seems like a lot of people are having a bug in this and the layout stuff. And a lot of them are saying it's because of the comments that were added, which is weird.
I removed them and okay. I got into a weird state where I seem to have selected every single window.
Interesting.
I don't know how to get out. The keys don't work.
So if you did like mod enter, you can't start a terminal.
No, I can. Like without doing that, I think yeah, I did mod A, and that seems to select all the windows. Interesting.
I've never done that. I guess you can like quit everything.
I don't know how to unselect. How do I change to tab mode again?
Was it mod T or?
I'm just
mod
pressing mods.
Yeah.
Oh god. Getting slower. It can't handle really simple drawing. Okay, so I've nested stacks. I guess how do I unnest? And they're all selected. Jesus.
Yeah, I've never selected them all with mod A.
Try on yours, mod A.
All right. Yeah, that doesn't do it. I think it's your Dvorak, which
No,
is
A is the
binding or
same.
something else.
A is the same on both.
Um, yeah, that does nothing for me.
Interesting. Oh,
But I've like rebound stuff,
yeah.
and I think yeah, when you start to remove a lot of this crud, it like actually makes more sense. But
hmm hmm
you've got a lot of defaults which are just doing weird things. The layout stuff is unfortunate. It really is because I wanted to use that, to be honest.
hmm
But I can tell you some key things that I've modded that might make things like a lot smoother, and you can choose to use them or not. But if you go to your config file,
my computer's locked up at the moment. I pressed the stack too many times and now it's in like quadratically poor complexity. You see how it adds one every now and then? It's stuck.
right? Yeah, okay.
Waiting for that to
Oh, and you started Chrome so many times.
No, I don't. I just stacked it. I think it's the same. So
Oh, really?
I've only got three applications open, but it's
Yeah.
just nested into all these stacks. And it must have some quadratic complexity thing whenever you like add a window.
Hmm. I don't know what that means though to nest another stack
So you can nest
with the
stacks
same
inside stack
application.
frames. And so I've got a stack of one thing where that thing is a stack, and that inner stack is a stack of one thing. And eventually it's a stack of three things, which is the three applications. You can see
Right.
the braces that tells
Yeah,
you
so it's not actually multiple instances of the terminal and
that's
Chrome.
right. Yeah, it's just
It's a
multiple
blind.
stacks. There's
Hmm.
only three applications open, but there's like 20 nested stacks.
Right. Yeah, I can't say I've ever seen that
I just
from
pressed
my
the
limited use.
I pressed the stack button just again and again. Maybe it's because everything was selected that did that. I don't know.
Is there any
Um,
chance of reviving this?
I might
Like,
have to just kill the.
oh, maybe
How do you?
try the mod Shift E again, and then you need to click the button. Well,
I pressed Alt Shift E. I'm sure it'll show up at some point, but I think
and
it's frozen my computer.
yeah.
Oh, good thing it's a VM. I'll just
Oh
restart.
yeah, true. Nice.
Yeah, it's not optimized.
Nah. There are other window managers that might be more optimized, but to
Isn't
get
there an i4? Is that a thing?
no, I don't think so.
Okay. I think
Um,
I heard the
there's
idea of
like
it.
Xmonad and there's like
Hmm.
Sway. There are alternatives to this, and they might be better optimized, but to get just like feeling how this works for your benefit, I think it's like a good one to start with, maybe.
Hmm.
Because yeah, maybe you prefer the normal
I'm
style.
starting to think what I'm actually after is just a config file that sets up the Xmod map,
Right.
like works in any window manager, because it's the keyboard shortcuts that I really care about.
And what was the setup again?
Text editor take up the whole screen,
Oh, okay,
and
right.
then terminal and browser floating on top.
Yep. So pretty simple.
Yeah,
Yeah, your thing's not even restarting.
it's doing something, I guess. Oh, there we
There
go.
we go. Oh, is it gonna try and restore that? Probably not.
Nah, because yeah. So if, yeah. So I did yeah. So mod A did some weird selection, and then when I press mod S, which I think means stacked, it starts doing this nested stack thing.
Right.
Not doing it again. I don't know how to get out of that mode without clicking.
Can you just look for it in the config file? Like, what is that actually doing? I'd be interested to see what it's bound to, that mod A. No, in your config file specifically. So if you go to, I think it was .config
Ah,
i3.
what am I doing? Yeah.
Yeah, where's mod A, mod plus A?
Focus parent. Focus parent container. So it like goes up one.
Yeah, right.
How do I like?
Yeah,
Yeah, okay.
I would get rid of that. I don't use it.
Mm-hmm.
The main ones that I use though, it would be like how to quit, and there was I think if you scroll up there is one.
Whoa. It's off screen. Oh, my window's like small for some reason. It's not
Yeah,
the whole thing. The VM.
yeah, yeah. I see that on my side.
Yeah, whoops.
Um,
Something's gone wrong there.
yeah. So see where it says D menu run. You probably want to change that to some modifier that you use to set up the window. I use like mod space. That seems to be pretty useful.
Where does it say that?
Scroll up a bit. D menu run. So where it says that,
Align?
scroll down. It's
Yeah.
line 54.
Mm-hmm.
So if you change that to like Ruffy,
Okay,
I think,
yeah, that other thing.
yeah, I think it was like Ruffy dash mode mod I maybe D run. Oh yeah, show.
Does
Yeah, I
it have
think
to
that's what
be
you
a
had.
string?
No, no, it doesn't need to be a string. So if you save that, you should be able to restart i3. It's also another keyboard shortcut that you might want to find what it is on yours. But if you just search restart, yep. So if you now type that,
Cool.
yeah,
Cool. Neat.
and you can make it look really nice as well. That is one of the benefits of Ruffy is that, like showing icons and all that cool stuff.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So that's pretty important. Like I was saying, quit.
What was the quit thing? Got it. Yeah.
Yep. So what is like quit application in that config?
Quit. Kill.
Oh, kill, yeah. Quote double. What the hell? Yeah.
Quote.
I use Q, like mod Q.
Quote BL double BBL.
Yeah. Not sure what that
Yeah,
is.
that's cute.
Oh, okay. That's Q.
That's cute.
So yeah, I don't even need the shift. I think it's pretty useful if you just have mod Q, but it's up to you. You can make it Alt F4 if you want, probably.
Yeah.
And yeah, like the focusing of different tabs. I use JK Vim keys. I think that's pretty useful for navigation.
So I just did split in horizontal orientation, and I
Yep.
think I put my current application into a container, which is a horizontal split. So if I make more things, it goes horizontally.
Correct, yes. So you could toggle that to tell it which way to create as well. It actually says like H at the top. I think that's referencing horizontal. If you do like mod K, it says V. All right, let's do one thing which I think you'll find pretty useful, and it will also show off like the grouping system that I was talking about. So probably maybe go right to the bottom of the file, and I'll just tell you what to type if you just like follow along. So type this. So type set, and then $, and then we'll create a variable. So we'll call it like mode underscore system. Yep. And then to the right of this variable, you're actually going to give it the options that you want to like show. So, and this will make more sense when you see it. So type space, and then maybe write system, and then maybe say like bracket L lock. You can give it a space, like, so it's like gonna display this message when you hit the keybind. So you can say like parentheses L lock, comma, parentheses E logout, parentheses S suspend. These are the keys that you might hit.
Is this right? System, no, like, wait, what?
So it's just your prompt string. So it's like whatever you want it to show. And what I'm saying is like you can tell what key bindings. It's just a string, so it doesn't really matter how you put it. It's not. There's no correctness here. This is really up to you.
Where does this
I'm saying. Okay, so maybe I should start with this use case. The use case here is like you're going to hit a key binding, and it's going to prompt you with this string to say like, press this button, like L for lock, press E for logout, press S for suspend, press H for hibernate, for example, press R for reboot. But it just gives you the string that tells you what to press. So you can call it whatever you want. Just what key binding.
What was the other one?
Logout. So whatever key binding you want for logout, in whatever form you want, just write out a string. It doesn't really matter. What key binding do you want for logout? Yeah. Okay. Dog for logout, which is not a key binding because you have no dog. But
it can't be like multiple keys.
It can. It just makes it a bit more complicated. For now, we'll just
yeah, that's not it. What was the other kinds?
Let's just do two more. Like let's do reboot. So R for reboot and maybe S for shutdown.
Oh, yeah.
Sure. So
Mm-hmm.
so like that's just a prompt string. It's not actually going to bind anything there. The next thing to do would be to write this on a new line. So mode is the keyword, and then we want to put in a string, quotation marks, $mode underscore system. Yep, and then enter a brace here, like space brace, open brace. Yep, and then inside that block, you want to tab. Yep, and then now inside this block, what is happening here is we're going to set some key bindings specifically when you're in this mode. So there's going to be one key binding to get into this mode. And when you're in this mode, basically all of your other key bindings become useless. You only get what's in this block. So let's bind L to lock. So yeah, you want to write bind sim, which is their keyword. And then the next thing to bind sim is the key. So yep, it's L. And to the right of L is actually, you got to write exec, because we're going to actually execute like a bash script or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
This next part is just to say that this running execution doesn't have any ID. So you want dash dash no startup ID with dashes in between the words. Yep. And then space, we want to use, say, oh, so this is for lock, right? Lock is actually requires something interesting that I guess we can add. So $locker with a capital L. And then we want to comma that. And then write mode. And then as a string default. Okay, so that's just one of them. And this is actually for locking.
Comma.
So that's because it's running multiple commands there. You're running first the locker command, which we haven't defined. And also you're running mode default, which puts it back to the original mode. So it gets out of this block.
Parameters to exit.
Yeah, so the first parameter
is this is one thing, right?
Yeah, basically the thing after the no startup ID is the one thing, and the comma is the second command. So typically you see exec no startup ID, and then like the command that you want to run.
Wait. I feel like this is one thing. The exec is one thing, and then the mode is a separate thing. Not part of exec. Because we have mode up here. It's not an exec thing. It's a i3 thing. So I see.
Yeah, right. Like okay.
Here is the thing.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I see what you mean. Yeah, I think you're right. Like, it's not actually going to exec multiple things, and maybe that says like what to do, like what mode to transfer over to, or what mode to run in. Maybe
appears up here.
Yeah, that what that is actually doing though is saying that when you hit the mod P key in that group, it's going to go to the mode default, which brings it out of the mode that you're in.
Mm-hmm.
But we haven't defined locker. So locker is just a bash command that we want to define. So right above that mode system, inside above set mode system. Sorry, I should have been more explicit. Right, like set $locker, and we're just going to set it to this command, i3. So you want to write i3 lock. Yep.
Hey,
and then you want to write
exec SSS lock transfer sleep lock thingy. Interesting. It like runs this already.
And then double ampersand sleep one. So it puts it in this lock mode.
Sleep one.
Yeah, that's what I have. But the lock mode is a special mode that i3 gives you that puts it into this like white screen, and then you got to type your password.
Did I write the whole thing, or did I miss something?
Oh no, that's correct.
Okay, just i3 lock.
Yep. So you've defined lock. Now let's define reboot. So just copy paste.
It's a really hacky thing to the.
Yeah, I agree. Like, why is that even necessary? You could probably get rid of it and see what happens when you test it.
Later.
So just copy paste that, and then use the R for the key binding. And so for here, we can type like system control reboot and then comma mode default. Oh, sorry, system CTL.
Like that?
Yep. Assuming you have system CTL, I'm pretty sure Debian has that. Yep, system CTL, and I think it's power off is the, yeah, power off. And I have like -I after that. I'm not sure if that's important, but yeah, just copy what I have. So you've defined like this mode, but we still need a key binding to get into this mode. So underneath this,
This is the name of the mode?
that is the prompt of the mode that you'll see.
It's setting it to a variable.
It will make more sense when you see it, but yeah, it says setting to this to a variable because it's like it's it's displaying the string when you will hit this mode.
Yeah, it's just showing the mode name.
It's the mode name.
So yeah, here you've got the quotes which puts all this stuff into one string.
Yeah, so when you keybind like the mode's name, sorry, this to a key binding, when you click it, press it, it's gonna just display that.
I feel like this variable mode system is a stream of tokens. And like we've inserted this stream of tokens here inside quotes, which turns it into a string, which is the name of this mode. This mode takes a string parameter. Yeah, mode is keyed on strings. So
mode is key on strings, but it has no relationship to the key binding inside the block.
I think we could do this.
Right.
Would also work. I feel like this is slightly better.
It makes it more clearer that it's just a string for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. Otherwise, it's like you could pass it to exec and it'll run it as separate parameters. Yeah.
Well, let's just see if this even works. So the next thing you want to do is just bind sim at the bottom, outside of this. Yep. And then you want to use mod escape. Sorry. Is that right? Yeah, mod plus escape. And then you want to type here mode and
I assume yours has quotes around thing.
Yeah, it does. That's right.
Yeah, it's a string.
Yep. So you've already defined it's a string, so that should work. So yeah, just reload i3 and then do the mod escape. See if that works.
What was the name of the thing?
Restart. There you go. Yeah, so that's the lock mode, which
what the fuck is this?
You type your password in and press enter.
What the fuck is this? Oh my god. What the hell is this UI?
It's pretty bad.
Wow.
Yeah, don't use it.
Wow. Okay.
It's their default lock screen thing, which, could be better.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But
what year was i3 made in?
Hey, but at least you have like a better way to get out, like without having to click the button.
Initial release
13 years ago.
2009. No, it doesn't have a good excuse. I thought it'd be like 1990.
Right.
Right.
To be fair, I think like you're not meant to really use that. Like you can just install a different lock screen type thing and bind that.
I'm sort of commenting on the whole everything.
Yeah.
It feels like it's from 1990.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Maybe that's what they're going for.
Maybe. Yeah, this makes me kind of just want to make my own.
Fair enough.
Wow.
So yeah, you've got quit, you've got like being able to get out of i3, restart and shutdown, reload, and movement is not really a thing that you really need because you just want a fixed sort of thing. Yeah, if you had the reloading of your session, that would be really awesome. It sucks that it's pretty broken.
So one thing it feels like it's should have, but I'm not sure if it even does. So it's got containments. It's got containers,
Hmm.
and I'm not seeing like keyboard shortcuts to move things between containers.
Between containers?
Yeah.
So like, um,
So there's like a tree hierarchy of containers and applications inside them, and the contain it's kind of like the DOM, kind of like a you can imagine like Flexbox, and you've got
yeah,
horizontal and vertical and that sort of thing.
yeah,
It's a lot like that, and to sort of pick up an application and put it in a different space, or pick up an entire container and put it under a different container. I imagine that would be pretty hard to come up with keyboard shortcuts with that much power, but there doesn't seem to be anything. You just
I'm
can
a bit
create containers.
confused by what you mean. Like, if you consider, say, like a multiple column on the right, is that a container to you, or
Yeah.
is that it is? Then you are able to do that.
But can you put stuff into that container from a different container?
Yes, absolutely.
Oh yeah.
So,
You have
um,
did you add keyboard shortcuts for that?
no, it should be all there. Like, what you're essentially looking for is move, but to
Mm,
move something means that you have to be selected on it.
sure.
If that's the limitation that you
No, no,
can't
no,
go
no.
by.
Yeah, yeah. So you've got this Sublime Text is it's in a it's in a tab thing. So if I make another one, it's in a separate tab, and this one I can change into a. Oops, where is it?
Hmm.
uh,
Okay, so here's how I think you can sort of get to what you're looking for. Um,
stack layout.
yeah, start with stack layout. That's a good way to start. So
So
let's
this is a
say,
tab layout, and that tab layout is a child inside this stack layout.
yeah.
And
So
say
what you're
this
looking for
terminal, I want to put
is
inside the tab layout.
yeah. So look for like the move command in your config.
Mm-hmm.
So mod shift H, T, and F. I assume they're all sort of next to each other. Just play around with that first, see if that does what you're looking for.
I can use the up, down, left, right as well.
Yep. Yes, just try mod shift left and up and right and see
Okay, so I
if,
got terminal. I moved it down and it went inside. Cool.
yeah. And if you press left again, it goes back to the top one. But if you press right and then right, it would stay in the stack tab and move that one to the right. So, yeah. So you can actually use move to create the column behavior as well. Like if you've got multiple stacks and you just press left, it should create a column for you. But I think you have to be in stacking mode for that. So it looks like you might be in tabbed mode.
This seems to work actually, yeah. So say I've got this is horizontal and I want to put that in there. I just go move up, and now it's in this horizontal. It's pretty neat. And then this one, when I go vertical, and like I want to put that inside the vertical, so I say go right, and it goes in. That's actually pretty cool. That worked.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is the real power of i3 at this
arrow
stage.
key work. That's pretty impressive.
Mm.
So in a tree structure, arrow keys manage to navigate, and it would be based on the layout, not necessarily the tree structure, but the layout that each node is using. What left, right means.
Yeah, because you have like this tab layout there, whereas the top one doesn't.
This is horizontal layout.
Oh, sorry, is that what you mean? Like horizontal or vertical? Yeah.
Yeah. So horizontal, vertical, stacked, and tabbed. Those are the four tiling
And
layers.
floating.
And then floating for the when you want to depart from all that.
Yeah, and also full screen actually. So you could do, I think you had it like mod U or something like that.
You can just say the key that it isn't QWERTY because it's U is
mod F maybe? I don't know.
Yeah, it is.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, and you haven't even got to like multiple workspaces, if that would be a useful thing. Because you could have all of this and then like completely blank it by just going to workspace 2.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then, you know, each workspace could be designated to something. It's kind of overkill though. You really want its simplicity.
It's conceptually really neat, the power of this containers and layouts.
Yeah.
But I can't see it being something you want to use.
It just makes it fully blown, like you commit to it and you're really good at it, and so you just know how to navigate really well.
Yeah, but yeah, if you have quite a lot of applications and it's like a way to manage the number of applications you have to group them in all these ways so you can go up and down the hierarchy of grouping, that would work really well. This would be fantastic because otherwise in a regular window manager, it's just flat. It's just a big list of applications. There's no
and exactly, and like alt tabbing through that list is really a waste of time.
This lets you do something that's more structured than just alt tab. This the up down left right is basically like of changing focus is like alt tab, but like based on
up down left right. And it's not just that, like a lot of the alt tab applications like on OS X or Windows, you'll have potentially, as I said, like multiple instances of those, and you would have to change the keyboard shortcut they use to switch between the contexts of those instances, which you can do.
That's only a problem on Mac. Windows doesn't do that.
It doesn't have
alt tab goes through every single window. Not every single application like Mac does.
Yeah, but does it have a like alt tilde where you can go through each application? Okay.
It just goes through each window.
Okay, right.
It doesn't group the windows by application like Mac does.
It doesn't? I thought it did.
Linux has alt tilde, but only I think Mac is the only one I've experienced which makes alt tab only go through applications and not through Windows.
Oh, I see. Yeah, right. Yeah. So yeah, you would have to go through every single one to get to all apps, just to get like to a particular, say, VS Code or something. If you have multiple open.
Yeah. And this is why I really like keyboard shortcuts to go directly to a window, to like assign a particular window to a particular key. And so no need to navigate through a list. It's just, I know exactly what I want. I'll press the button for it. And so this is something i3 is not really giving me.
Yeah, there must be some way to at least save your layout and not have the error message that you got, because I really want that. I want to just be able to start up the operating system and then just go, yeah, I want exactly this layout and I don't want to have to think about it.
Yeah, like floating window managers more or less have that, because this windows will remember their position and size, and next time they open, they just go right back there. Because there's no
Windows
tree
does
for
that.
them to fit into. They're just position absolute somewhere. They're all independent.
Yeah, I guess I've never thought about that on like Mac, for example, when I've got my
Yeah, like when you
application.
open an application, you don't have a tree context that you're inserting it into to figure out what its name will be. It just goes back to what it was before.
Yeah, true.
So you get that kind of saving layout for free.
But yeah, unfortunately, in my context, like the number of applications, it would only do like the last one, I guess. So if I have like multiple instances of the same application and I shut down and then I go back in.
It depends on how smart the application is. Like,
yeah, right.
Yeah, if you've got different projects and stuff, and it's like reopening those windows, like if it's a good application, it'll save each one as a separate position. But I
never thought about it.
Application to actually implement that.
I would have to keep an eye on it next time I open things up on, say, Mac. Do I notice it going in the exact same configuration that I left it in?
Especially VS Code, if you've got multiple windows, does it remember each like project position separately?
No, I don't think so. I definitely don't think so. Yeah, I don't think so.
Okay. Chrome it definitely does.
Right.
Yeah. Windows have like certain names.
Yeah.
So it uses to save each.
But because Chrome has its own tabbing system, you're most likely to only have one instance of it up and not multiple.
It works for multiple. So PWA is just another browser window. And they all remember where they go. They're all like separately saved.
Cool. Yeah. That makes sense, actually. You would want to definitely keep that as a separate thing.
You want to treat them like separate applications.
Yeah. But yeah, it's a much more advanced application than, say, I guess other ones that probably haven't coded that into their history or whatever, saving the location and stuff. It would be something that developers would have to do, right?
I think so. That's my guess.
Yeah. Yeah, okay. Yeah, intro to i3. I mean, yeah, it's okay to be like, it's not for you. It's definitely eye-opening to hear about how you keep it simple, though. I think that's an interesting strategy.
My main interest in i3 was like a single config file that I could just deploy, and like it'll be if I re-image a machine or go to a new machine, it's like really easy to get back into a known state.
Yep.
But yeah, I don't think a tiling layout manager is for me.
But I'm still interested to find out whether there is a potential through some research to get to that, like for my own purposes anyway. Because if I'm able to save like a more complex layout, I definitely don't want to open all that again.
I reckon with some tinkering, you'll be able to get that saving thing working. Like, how can it not work? It's like its entire purpose of that command is to save a layout. How can... Why would
Yeah,
it
and
not
it's
work?
got like a JSON file which is quite readable
Yeah.
and
Like
parsable.
maybe those comments, instead of deleting them, I should have just uncommented them. Something like that.
Maybe. I mean, you still have it. Can you just try it?
Yeah.
Just call the save layout thing again, and oh yeah, all that.
So it was like that, and then I3 something. That was it.
Oh, cool. Why is it commenting those things though?
Good question. Why is there a little what? Wait, what is this? What is this? What is this crazy? What? What am I looking at? I shouldn't have opened it 50 times. How do I close
Oh,
it? What was the close thing? Yeah, okay. Let's close everything. Close everything and do it again.
yeah.
S, no instance, no instance. It failed to open it. Yeah, I just get this string. So the application failed to open. So there's more issues, but at least it didn't like fail to parse.
Hmm. Yeah, it's definitely trying. No instance though. What is that? No instance I3.
Yeah, this is meant to be Chrome, terminal, and line text. That's fun. Yeah, this is like perfect if you like tinkering with stuff and trying to get it to work.
Yeah.
Which is fitting for Linux, not so good for any other operating system.
Once you get it right though.
Yeah,
Um,
and then you have to like pray that it still works in 5 months after you upgrade to the next version and things change.
well, any sort of small tweaks that are not configurable, like in that i3 thing, you would have to remember and then be like, install this and then install that. Or...
Mm, mm.
Yeah. Yeah, my experience has been that um, it's good because I have so many apps that I need to juggle.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and the movement really works well with the fact that I'm always in sort of a Vim mode.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Yeah,
it kind
Vim
of sucks
controls are
when I have
very
to,
nice.
yeah, like when I have to switch to mouse control, like if I'm in
You
the
didn't
browser
have
or
that on
whatever,
Mac
it's
before. Like if you want to switch windows, all you have is like Alt Tab.
yeah, I have like workspaces in Mac, so I can like key bind switching to a workspace,
With
which kind of
Vim
gets me there.
controls.
Yep, so I bind just to like Alt J and Alt K or something.
Yeah.
But Mac has an issue with multi-screen where if you're in one of the in a separate monitor and you want to control the workspace on a different monitor, you have to click the other
Mm,
monitor. It's really
that's
annoying.
annoying. Very annoying.
It's so annoying. It's like I want some keyboard shortcut to just like go to the other monitor and click,
You
and
want
so I
like
can
Alt
just stream.
Tab for monitors or something.
Yeah, I don't know why that doesn't work. Like,
There must be a keyboard. I mean, there has to be a keyboard shortcut because not everyone can use mice. It's an accessibility thing.
yeah, but I'm saying that when you alt tab to a different application and different monitor, it's still doesn't trigger the workspace key binding, because it still is somehow bound to the other monitor, such that when you're doing that workspace keyboard binding, it's like registering it only for that monitor's workspaces.
How do I make this go horizontal? No. These aren't in a container? How do I make these go side by side?
Mod shift right. What happens when you do that?
Cool, thank you.
Hey, nice.
And I died. Infinite while loop. Yeah, it glitched out.
Was that a bug in one of the previous shapes?
Bug in the algorithm. There's like 3
Ah.
bugs that I know of. Like there's another one. And sometimes it gets into infinite while loops. Just because of floating point math. Floating point math is hard.
How is the floating point math like affecting that?
Like it gets see how like the lines went really far? Like when values get too small and there's like divisions and stuff, like if you divide by a really small value, the inaccuracy is like not exponential, but like what would you like when you divide by a small number, you get really big numbers. And so when you're trying to divide by a small number, a like linear amount of error results in a like inverse big error after the division. Like if you do plus or minus 0.01 and you're dividing by 0.01, like your potential error is enormous. This goes to infinity.
Right. So when you're getting close to like a line that's really small, are you dividing like that small section as it keeps trying to
So here's a good example of why I want the text editor to take up the whole screen.
Just do mod U. Mod U.
And then to go back to the terminal.
Mod U.
And then I gotta go there. Yeah, nah. And I kind of still want to see my text. Like, I just want the terminal to appear on the right, so I still see my text.
Floating?
Yeah.
Floating terminal?
Floating, and then like resize it. How do you resize? Like I can't do that thing. That just bang it to the side and it'll take up half the screen.
You want like floating column.
How do I switch? I can't get out. I can't go back to the other window. I have to use my mouse. No. Yeah, no. I'm just gonna like.
No. You probably want to do mod left and mod right, maybe.
Yeah, I'm trying that. it doesn't. I'm like, this is a new root
Okay.
of a tree that I can't escape from.
Oh,
Can't
okay.
go to the other tree. How do I log out again? Escape. We don't have login preview. Right. I wanted to show you the math where there's a division,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like you can't have any intuition about that division. It's just a whole bunch of algebra. Just gonna go. Hey, it's full screen. Why was I 3, not 8? Interesting. Yeah. Okay. Full screen. Right. Full screen goes to right. This is the layout that I want.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. So this division. There's a bunch of divisions. If these values are like really small, or this, then the inaccuracy of a floating point makes the inaccuracy of the result like really big.
So when is this happening? Sine intersection.
Yeah, so this is so that's these are all vec2s, just xy. So this is a start point and a direction for the line A, and a start and a direction for line B. And I've just pulled it all out into variables. Here's a line equation. This is the x component, a plus through a, so this is the x direction times t1 being like the t for the a line A, and t2 for the line B, like how much progress you are along that line. X equals x, y equals y between each line, and then solve for t1 or t2. Solve for t2.
Oh, okay, so this is just your simultaneous equation solution
Simultaneous
for T.
equation, solve for t2, and that gets you the intersection point of the two lines.
Yep. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, you can see it like just uses that equation with the t2.
Would like coordinate shifting help so that
does coordinate shifting mean?
Because yeah, you're using divisions, which cause this. But you know how like we can do like a transformation of some coordinate space so that, you know, it changes the equation so that it's like not a division anymore, it's something else. I wonder if there's some equivalent here.
I don't think it would be possible to not do a division just based on the nature of the algebra.
Of intersection. Well, yeah.
I think these equations are pretty fundamental to the problem being solved.
Yeah.
So this is the output of the algebra.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sort of saying this without having thought how you could even transform.
Yeah, you have to calculate that transform, which probably ends up involving division.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think debugging is going to be painful because it's not just division. I think there's other fundamental problems in the algorithm.
Yeah. But these are when the lines are getting really, really small, as you said, right? When they're closing towards the boundaries.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wonder how other people do this. Like, do they have like some if condition type stuff when you're getting to the small values and sort of do some heuristics around that?
Yeah, I reckon, or just like epsilon values or something. If it's within a certain thing, have a special like
Yeah.
stop processing this and simplify it or something.
Yeah, just like round it off to a particular number,
Yeah. So
something
there'll
like
be an
that.
inaccuracy in the results. Like it'll be like
Hmm.
based on the epsilon, but at least it won't go off into infinity. Like,
Oh, and thinking about like rounding off and stuff, could you do sort of a SDF approach where you're using min and max to solve this? I don't know.
uh,
I'm just thinking about that because when you use the epsilon approach, you're kind of like saying min of like an epsilon and some value, otherwise do some division. You know what I mean?
that's branching rather than
The
that's
solving
doing
part.
if min rather than doing
Right.
the min operation.
Right. Okay. Yeah. True.
If less than, yeah. I mean, that's sort of maybe.
Hmm.
Right. We've definitely moved on from i3 to the point that
Yeah.
we're running i3.
Yeah. You've definitely opened my eyes a little bit as to how I could potentially use it more
I can
effectively.
press Super 2 and Super 3, and it's like mapping to these icons, like the order in which they appear. So Super 1 will
Hmm.
open Chrome. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. This lets me go directly to applications, and that's the keyboard shortcut that I want.
Hmm.
The problem with GNOME though is when you have multiple windows in Chrome, like that, they don't get their own number. It's like
Right.
I can only go to one of them. So the numbers are based on application, but I want it to be based on window.
Yeah.
So I can go directly to a certain window.
Oh, so the number 2 goes to Sublime, does it?
Yes. And
Yeah,
number
right.
1 goes to the last Chrome that I had open.
I think you're better off in GNOME to be able to solve that than, say, a Windows or a Mac, but you should be able to do that for sure.
I have my like StarCraft key bindings, like where I can assign. I literally write the window ID to a file in one of the key bindings, and then the other key binding will read from the file to see which to force that window to be focused. But those key bindings don't seem to work in GNOME for some reason, so might be a bug.
So it's the window ID. How do you get that?
Um, install X.
Okay. Yeah.
Some X thing. Get window PID.
Hmm.
Okay.
And then how do you switch to that? What was your key binding for that?
Focus, is it? ID. Um, so I have a script that deploys it all, but it only works on Cinnamon.
Oh, I see.
Get window focus, window activate. But it fails. Interesting. It fails here.
Maybe you're not using X.
Hmm.
Are you using Wayland or something? How do you find that out? Is there like an about GNOME?
Is okay. Wayland. There we go. All right, so that's probably why it's not working in my other computer thing. It's probably Wayland. I'll have to try this again, but yeah. So I just gotta work out what's the Wayland equivalent. Okay, okay. Cool, cool.
Solvable.
Nice.
This actually looks really nice, like as a desktop environment.
Yeah.
It looks pretty nice.
It's very modern, like pretty, all that.
Yeah.
And then the other
Does it run faster?
Yeah, it is. It's well optimized, definitely.
Yeah. The experience I had with like Ubuntu GNOME was pretty bad.
Mm. Yeah, no, this is latest. Yeah, I saw some videos about oops, GNOME 42 or whatever, 19 hours ago. Cool. Latest and greatest. Yeah, they're definitely competing with Mac, I think, in terms of look and prettiness.
Yep.
You want these guys to make a tiling,
You want these guys to be what?
to make a tiling window manager to compete with i3.
Oh, right.
Right. End of there.
All right. GG. Ending recording.
GG.